Hello guys, this video is all about whole house humidifier. Particularly in this video we are going to install the saddle valve and I'm going to cover the maintenance of whole house humidifier. Before going to the whole house humidifier, let's understand what exactly the house humidifier is. When your home feels uncomfortable, we always blame the temperature. But there is another factor at work that can make your home feel uncomfortable, even if the temperature is perfectly warm, and that is humidity level. Whole house humidifier is installed directly in your heating system duct, which I've shown you here. When your furnace is cycling and heating air in your house, that air is also humidified by the whole house humidifier. This means that every room in your home can enjoy humidified air by using a single unit, and this is installed on your ductwork. There are a lot of benefits of installing this whole humidifier, and those are: it maintains a proper comfortable humidity level throughout the home. It helps elevate dry screen in winter time. Then it protects wood floor and furnishings from furnishings from drying and cracking. And definitely the energy saving is one of the major factor. Now, what are the different components of whole house humidifier? First one is the humidistat. This senses a need for humidity, and then the water flows from this supply pipe to the duct, and then it gets circulated to the house, and I will go over that in a bit. So the first component is humidistat. Second one is the cold water supply tube, and this is the tube on which the saddle valve is installed. If you show over here, so this is your main power water supply power line, and this is the saddle valve installed on that on that water supply line to take the water through this pipe and supply it to the humidifier. Then the third part is air return duct. So this is giving the or bypassing the air or supplying the air to the whole state humidifier. Then this is the actual humidifier. This one, in my case, it is model 560 humidifier of this company. Then this is a furnace, which is our standard stuff. If the whole house humidifier is not installed, then you will not see this setup. That is, this humidifier won't be there, this duct won't be there, this cold water supply won't be there. Then drain tube. So any excessive excessive water drained by the humidifier, that drains through this pipe. And this particular humidifier, means not this particular, but in general for all the humidifier you have to change the filter. So over here I have shown that how that filter could be removed and how to install that filter. And the water supply to the humidifier is controlled by the solenoid valve. So over here there is a solenoid valve. So if the humidity level decreases in the house, that humidistat sends the signal, and this solenoid valve comes into action, and it allows the water to flow through this pipe to the humidifier, and then this air return duct pushes that water droplets to the main supply air duct, and this is how it works. So if you are interested in more, I'm going to upload another video which is only going to cover the maintenance of the whole house humidifier. But in this particular video I'm going to cover the replacement of the saddle valve and how this saddle valve plays important role in this whole house humidifier. So let's begin.
Hello guys, I'm in the basement and in the area where water heater is installed, and if I show you, next to the water heater we have this furnace which circulates the hot air to the entire house through these ducts. And then on the furnace, one of the surface, we have this humidifier. This humidifier is a flow through whole house humidifier which humidifies the house using a natural evaporation process. And the model which is installed over here is model 560. And today's video is all about maintenance of this all house humidifier. Basically, I'm going to cover each component in detail and going to show you that how exactly this humidifier works and what things are required for the maintenance. And one of the thing which we are going to cover also is changing the saddle valve, which is over here if I show you, and it is kind of corroded with the because of the hard water. So I'm going to replace this, or first I'm going to attempt to first clean this one, but mostly I'm going to replace this with the new one. So this video is all about whole house humidifier, which is over here. And let's first start with each component of this humidifier. First thing first, the humidifier needs water, and this will be provided by tapping into the existing cold water supply line close to the humidifier. And this particular device is known as the saddle valve. Usually the saddle valve is tapped into the cold water, as I mentioned earlier. Over here you see this is our cold water line and this is hot water line. And once this saddle valve is tapped into the cold water line, another pipe, small diameter pipe, supplies the water to the humidifier. If I run through this one, you'll see that this entire small pipe is going all the way and it is reaching to the humidifier and supplying the water through this solenoid valve, which we'll be covering shortly. In my case, this particular saddle valve has gone bad because it is not installed properly. Usually it should be installed sideways, but here it is installed in downward direction, and because of this the hard water is seeping through that saddle valve and it is kind of corroded. So if you see over here, and it is not supplying the water to the humidifier. So the plan is, first I will explain you how to what components are involved in the humidifier, and then we'll replace this saddle valve. And just underneath the humidifier there is a valve, and this particular valve assembly is called as the solenoid. The purpose of installing this solenoid valve is that since water can't just run to the humidifier all the time, the water supply flow needs to be controlled, and this is done by water in inlet orifice and inlet valve assembly controlled by an electric solenoid. The solenoid is controlled by an humidistat. And what is humidistat is basically the controller which controls the humidification in the entire house. When the humidistat says to increase the humidity, this solenoid valve opens and supplies the water to the humidifier. And when the humidity is achieved, whatever you have set on the humidistat, then this solenoid valve restrict the water flow towards the humidifier. So far we have seen three components. One is the saddle valve, then second one is the solenoid, and third one is the humidistat. And here is the actual humidifier. I've just removed this cover. Let me remove this cover, and as soon as you remove this cover, you will see the pad. This pad has different names. Sometimes some guys they call it as a evaporator panel, or some guys call it as a water wick. So the way it works is basically the water supply coming from this pipe falls on this pad, and then it ripples through this water wick. The air which is coming out from this bypass area circulates through this one. There is no way to go this air, so basically the air from here flows through this water pad, and water evaporates, and it goes to this ducts. So whatever the air supplies through duct, that is now humid air, and it humidifies the entire house. So the setup is simple, and if there is more water in this accumulating in this pad, then it drains out through this drainage. So pretty straightforward setup. Often you have to change this, replace this entire sheet or panel once it goes bad. In my case, the panel is good. The only thing which has gone bad is the saddle valve. So first I'm going to shut off the water supply, and then open the saddle valve, and then we'll replace the saddle valve. I'll explain you how exactly the saddle valve can be installed on the existing pipe. And this is the self-tapping saddle valve I'm going to use. This fits into a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch pipe or tubing. Let me open this bag and show you what components are included. It has a washer, it has everything in it. It just you have to remove your old saddle valve after shutting off the water, and install the new one. Pretty straightforward activity, but let me show you in details. This saddle valve comes with the copper sleeve, that is this one, and the plastic ring, that is this one. These two things are not required if your water outlet pipe is a copper pipe. In my case, it is a water outlet, it's a copper pipe, so I'm not going to use both of these things. And the only thing which I'm going to use is the this copper slip compression nut, and the brass ring. Brass ring is inside this one. So if I open this one, there is a brass ring, that is this one. So this will go first, and then this one. I'll show you this in detail, but this is what is required only if your outlet pipe is copper pipe. In case if your outlet pipe is plastic pipe, then you have to pierce the hole into the plastic pipe, and then use this copper sleeve and the plastic tube. So let me first open the existing saddle valve. I've already shut off the water supply, and I'm going to remove that current saddle valve, and then just replace this one. No piercing for the current setup is required, because no piercing is required in my case, because the current setup has already the hole in the copper pipe, that is at the onto the inlet pipe. So I'm removing this nut first. This is kind of corroded. This entire saddle valve is corroded. So let me remove this. It is tight, and then I'm going to use the screwdriver to remove this one. So let me take out this nut and this screwdriver, and then I'll show you how the existing saddle valve was installed. So this part is pretty straightforward. Just remove these two screws, and once you remove this one, you'll see that there is already the original pierced hole is there. So I'm going to install my saddle valve exactly at this place, and the water will flow from that hole through this pipe to the humidifier. And since you see that this saddle wall, even if it is not moving and this is kind of gone, I'm going to just cut from here so that I can discard this entire old saddle wall which is gone bad. So I'm removing this saddle wall fixture so that it is available for installation. Now this copper o-ring is on the pipe and this nut is on this one, washer nut, and this is going to get connected like this over here, like this, and I have to tighten this one to make sure it is airtight and watertight contact. So it is up to you, it just tighten, and now this will go over here, and this pointer, right, this pointer is going usually pierce into the water copper pipe where you are installing, but in our case we are installing it is at the place where already there was a hole, so over here. So I'm going to install this exactly, I'm going to match this pointer with this hole, and it will go like this, okay, like this, and then we have to screw this in such a place that it will fit over here. Now when you are screwing these screws, make sure that you do it not one side first and then other side, but do it simultaneously. So few threads for this one, then few threads for this one, and so on. I'll show you that in a bit. Let me adjust this entire saddle valve over existing hole, and then I'll show you how to tighten this saddle valve. So I place the saddle valve and match the saddle valve pin over here with the original pipe hole, and now I'm just screwing this. The one which I was referring earlier is not to tighten this entire screw first and then go for this one, but go simultaneously. So like few threads for this one, say 1 2 3, and then go for this one, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. This way equal pressure is placed on the saddle valve, and it always remains in the horizontal position. The right way of installation of this saddle valve is not, this is incorrect way. Actually the piercing should be from the side on the side and not from the bottom, but anyway I have no choice because it has already been installed like that. So I'm just going to use the same hole to replace the old saddle valve with the new saddle valve. So we are kind of done. I am going to now switch on the water and show you that when the heater starts, how the water flows from here all the way to the humidifier. And here is the final output. If I show you after completion of the installation and the heater is started, I'm going to increase the humidity, and as you hear the water is coming through this pipe. Let me remove this pipe and show you how the water is coming. So as you see that the water is coming and it is going to moisten this entire chute, and the air which is coming through this hole, this duct, is going to pass and it is going to increase the humidity. So we have fixed and we have completed the maintenance of the all-house humidifier. Thanks for watching.